Hey people, so I want to talk about something that somebody brought up to me that I had to sit and have a very long think over, which was the idea of dominance using anger and frustration in play. I think that there's a little confusion for some people when it comes to especially going into that space where you're not just a play partner, but it's a DS relationship, dominant, submissive, master slave, mistress slave, whatever it is. I've always worked from the concept of don't do anything angry. That no matter what it is that I do, and keep in mind, I'm with the people that I'm with, I make it very clear that if it's in the right situation, in the right time, I have full access to them, and I can do whatever I want to them. This is something that's understood from the get-go about what I do. And one of the things that I have always tried to do is never let anger be the reason that I'm doing something. Either in play or in punishment. I think that angry play is dangerous. That does not mean that primal play, aggressive play, that's a whole other topic. That's a whole other discussion. I really enjoy primal play. I really enjoy play that you can let your aggression out. But there's a difference between aggression and anger. If you're being aggressive because you're angry, that's very different set of energy than being aggressive to be aggressive. I think that playing angry is one of these things that it's just going to lead to something bad. When you're angry, you're not thinking rationally. You're not thinking with your full brain. You're focused on, this person made me angry, I need to attack. Or I need to, bring my anger forward and use that to get across a message that the reason I'm doing this is because you did something that made me angry. And I think that's dangerous. I think that we need to be better than that. We need to understand that aggression and anger are not way we should be doing, is not way we should be dealing with things. Aggression and anger are things that people who are abusive play with. You made me angry, so I'm going to hit you. You did something I didn't like, so I'm going to hit you. I'm having a bad day, someone else made me angry, so I'm going to hit you. These are all concepts of people who are abusive, and we need to be above that. Even on my worst days, somebody pissed me off, made me angry. I do everything I can to find a different outlet than my submissive. It does not mean that I can't take some of that aggression out in my play to deal with some of that energy, but I don't use it as the prime motivator for what I am doing. It shouldn't even be on the top 10 reasons that I am doing this play. it is play should be a way to get out some frustration and some aggressiveness and get some of that energy out, but you have to keep in mind that it's not going to be the same energy as you would if you were coming in level-headed and just playing to play. And I think it's in your best interest to explain this to your submissive. Explain this to the people that you're playing with. Explain this to what's going on. That anger, the frustration and anger that has been going on in your life, you need some kind of release, and you need to make sure that everybody involved understands this, because you're not going to be thinking necessarily rationally. This is where you would be smart to have a third step in and be a monitor, and let them be the ones that call the scene. Take that power out of your hands. Okay, so unless you obviously code out, but it's very rare for dominants to code out. But I think that it's a smart idea to have a third person there monitoring the situation, and I know this from first-hand experience. This is one type of play that I do, that interrogation play, that when I do it, I have to have a third person watching, because I say I'm letting loose. This is where I am just letting go. I'm leaving rationality at the door. That's not what the scene is meant to be. That's not what this scene is meant to do. It is meant to do something that is, which is on a rare occasion is a necessity for me to deal with things that are going on in my head. And it only happens maybe once every 3 to 5 years that I do a scene like this. But again, I try not to, I would never walk into a scene like that angry. Especially, I would never walk into a scene like that angry with the person I'm doing the scene with. They are there, they understand, the risk and the reward, they understand all of the good and all of the bad, and it's this time where I can go and just lash out. I don't do it very often, and I would never do it with a person I'm angry with. Playing angry is, to me, is just, it feels dangerous, especially because I've seen scenes like this go bad, especially if you're doing like a cathartic scene on top of anger. It's really super dangerous. I mean, really, really, really super dangerous. It could really hurt people, and I think it's unfair to everybody involved to, especially to your submissive, to walk in angry to any kind of play scene. I would rather step outside, take a walk, go get some breath, go get some fresh air in my lungs, relax for a little while, come back, go to the table, sit down, and have a conversation. If you can't do that, if you cannot handle your own anger, if anger is what's driving your dominance, then leave this life. Please. Walk out the door. Just go. Just leave now. Because you are going to do something stupid that hurts the community. Anger is an enemy for dominance. Anger is emotionally draining, is something that you can, if you let it control you, you will harm the person you're with, and then you will go from being a dominant to an abuser. And I have stated multiple times that the difference between a master-slave, dominant-submissive relationship and an abusive relationship is razor thin. And you as the dominant have to be able to stand up and say, I am not abusive. I am not. I'm doing everything I do out of kindness and loving and caring, and not in time have I raised a fist or a hand in anger. You can't. I've been in, on both sides of that, and the couple times that I did do it, and I'm not being a hypocrite by saying this, I'm telling you from what my history is. The times that I have done it, I have scared myself. I've scared myself for what I can do. And I know I can do things that that most other men wouldn't. Just from the way I am, from my nature. I know I can. So I have to hold myself back and keep myself from doing something really, really stupid. The few times that I have, I've regretted it the second it was over. And I vowed not to let that thing happen again. And that particular thing didn't happen again. Something else happened. So I then I said, I'm not going to let that happen again. And then I kept doing research, and I kept getting more knowledge, and then realizing there's a whole laundry list of things that if I do them, I cross that line in going from being a good master, dominant, to being abusive. And it's a thin line. And I've seen it on both sides. And I've seen where it can, people can use this lifestyle as a way to be abusive. And I think that's damn dangerous. But what we need to understand, what you need to understand, if you are still watching this 12 minutes and 5 seconds into the video, you cannot allow anger to be the driving force in your dominance. If you do, it's going to turn abusive. Just be aware of that. So, anyways, 12 minutes, 30 seconds into the video. If you didn't get what I'm saying by now, you're never going to. Dominance does not equal abuse. Anger should not be the main force behind your dominance. Love, caring, respect should be. That's it. Be well and safe.